This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, everyone. Good morning. We're heading to the city of Caesarea. Caesarea is a very important city in the Gemara. Chazal referred to it as Caesarin, which was a large fortified city built by Herod on the shore. He built it in honor of Augustus, the Caesar, and it became a major Roman center in Eretz Yisrael. About Caesarea, the Medrash tells us in Eicha, Hayu tsareha l'roish oyeveha shalu, that until Yerushalayim was destroyed, there was no city as great as Yerushalayim. But once Yerushalayim was destroyed, the greatest epicenter in the world was Caesarea. This was a Roman center. There's a expression in the Gemara, Chachmei Caesarin, the sages of Caesarea. Who are they? The top sage in Caesarea, Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina, who's a student of Rabbi Yochanan. Chazal say he's the neighbor of Rabbi Yochanan in Gan Eden. By the way, in Gan Eden, just because you might have a corner property now, it doesn't mean you're having a corner property in Gan Eden. You know, the properties change in Gan Eden. People get better real estate. Everybody has to make sure that they have a nice piece of land in Gan Eden. You also want to have good neighbors. You know, the guy down the block who might be annoying to you, you don't want him to be your neighbor in Gan Eden. So everyone has to make sure they have good neighbors. Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina is the neighbor of Rabbi Yochanan in Gan Eden. Next, we have Rabbi Avo. We're going to Rabbi Avo's kever. I want to talk about one of the takanas of Rabbi Avo. Rabbi Avo is masakin in Caesarin. The Gemara says in Rosh Hashanah Lamed Gimel that Rabbi Avo is masakin that we blow shofar, tekiah, shivarim, teruah, tekiah. That is the takana of Rabbi Avo. Before Rabbi Avo, some people held the teruah was a teruah. Some people held it was a shvarim. Some people held it was both. Rabbi Avo wanted to streamline it, and he was masakin to blow tekiah, shivarim, teruah, tekiah. That's takanas Rabbi Avohu. You had Rabbi Abba. Rabbi Abba. Anybody know who's Rabbi Abba? Rav, very good. Rav is Rabbi Abba. Rabbi Abba is the author of the Zohar HaKadosh. Rav is Rabbi Abba. You have Rabbi Ishia, you have Rabbi Tachlifa, Rabbi Chanina, Rabbi Isi, Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha. These are all the Chachmei Caesarea. Little trivia here. You know who else lived in Caesarea? Rabbi Bun. Who's Rabbi Bun? Where do we find Rabbi Bun? Rabbi Bun is a big all-star in the Yushalmi. Rabbi Bun is all over the Yushalmi. He's one of the Chachmei Caesarea. When the Romans imprisoned Rabbi Akiva was in jail in Caesarea. Rabbi Akiva was murdered in Caesarea. What day of the year? Yom Kippurim. What day was Rabbi Akiva imprisoned? On the fifth day of Tishrei. Rabbi Akiva was executed in the city of Caesarea. So this was a great city. Now some people were not able to remain in the city. Some Amoraim left Caesarea. Who left Caesarea? One of the Amoraim left Caesarea because they were malim ayin min ha'aniyim. They ignored the aniyim. So this is a very important idea. It doesn't say he left Caesarea because the people didn't give money to the aniyim, but they ignored the aniyim. Now there are a few interesting halachas. There's a halacha of al tashev dach nichlam, that when an ani asks the person for tzedakah, you can't embarrass them, you can't shame them, you can't send them away empty-handed. When they come to you and they ask you for something, you can't just say, so you can't ignore them. At least you have to say, good morning, shalom aleichem, how are you, great to see you, even though it might have been the 97th ani that asked you, it's still great to see them. But the issue of the Anshe Caesarea is they were malim ayin min hatzedakah. So if an ani approaches you, at least don't ignore them. Doesn't mean you have to give them $100. It doesn't even mean you have to give them $1. but you have to at least make them feel that you're not sending them away nichlam, ashamed. Okay, we're headed to the kever Rabbi Avo. We're going to talk more about Rabbi Avo when we get there. An interesting thing about Rabbi Avo is that he's buried on the beach. Now that's not a bad spot to be buried. So we have to think about why Rabbi Avo was zoicha to be buried on the beach.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.